Hey Chad and team, this is Jessica Peterson, and earlier I spoke with both Rosie and Chad who accepted this free video on your behalf, and I'm super excited that you did because I'm about to show you 3 strategies you can start applying right away, and it's going to make a huge difference for your business. Right now you're only getting about 5 people to your website organically per month, which means you're missing out on over 60 to 70% of your jobs every single month by not following these strategies. And I know these strategies do work and work really well because I'm using them with over 50 other restoration companies just like you guys, and the success has been phenomenal, okay? So today we're going to focus on 3 main strategies. We're going to talk about your content keyword strategy. We're going to talk about your citations, and then finally your backlinks. Okay, so here we are on your website. You have a decent website. You got the basic foundation set up. Okay, Google has recently, in the last year or so, gone to mobile first. So the mobile first experience is critical. That means having the click to call buttons like you have here, and just a really simple to use navigation on mobile devices. But outside of that, when it comes to ranking, it's all about content. Content is key, and you do need a lot of content. So your content is not just about your home page, but it's all of your pages throughout your website. Google requires you to have a separate page for every single service. We cannot just simply list the types of services that you're offering like we have here, okay? You have to have a separate page for every individual service at a minimum. This is going to allow you to focus on this one specific service. It will allow you to address what it is, how the processes that you use, and answer the questions people ask, but it needs to be focused around your local keywords. So in your case, if your homepage and everything's based on Bozeman, these service pages will also be based on the Bozeman area. So you have to have those separate pages. Those are absolutely critical. Now your homepage is the most important page of your entire website, and so this homepage needs to be built around each of those services. So you need a summary of each of the major services you offer, focused around those local keywords. 99% of the time when people are searching for your help, they don't know who you are yet. So they're not going to be searching for 406 cleanup. They are going to be searching for water damage restoration, water cleanup, flood cleanup, okay? So they're going to be searching terms like Bozeman water damage Bozeman. And those are the type of keywords you need to be focused on for each of your services. And understand that people search differently, so you do need to capitalize on the various ways they're searching to be able to get the most potential traffic to your website, which can then convert to customers. Your content on your website includes everything. It includes your images like this. We want to make sure all of these are optimized. So if we take a look here, this image is saved as 406 cleanup, water, mold, and fire restoration services. Doesn't really go with this image, does it? This is clearly a water damage issue, so this should be a water damage optimization. You can have your brand on there, but it does have to have those local keywords. So this more appropriately would be a Bozeman water damage cleanup, water damage restoration, water damage floor repair. Okay, so it has to be your local area and what it's about. So every single image throughout your website needs to have that optimization, and then also all of this text also needs to have the optimization. Also, do not repeat the same text on your pages. Google doesn't like duplicate content. Every page has to have its own original content. Now this home page, as I said, being the most important page, it's supposed to tie in all the other pages of your website together. And so you do need to have at least 1,500 words or more of that content, written content, on this page. Since we're competing against competition, if your competitors have 1,500 words, then you need more. We always have to do more than they're doing. So if they have 1,500 words, you're going to shoot for at least 1,800 or 2,000 words on your page. And again, it needs to be focused around those local buyer intent keywords. Keywords like Bozeman water damage company, that is a keyword and it will drive traffic, but that's more of people that are researching and learning about the companies in the area. That's not a buyer intent keyword. Your buyer intent keywords are going to be mold removal Bozeman, water damage restoration Bozeman. Okay, so those are the types of keywords you need to focus on. So you have to dial in that keyword strategy. And if you're servicing multiple areas, you want to make sure that you have service area pages for each service. So that way, Google can present customers to you in each of those areas. Google is sending crawlers, which are mini robots that go and scan every inch of your website, all of your images, videos, and text to try and understand what your business is about. But if it doesn't have the right type of content, it doesn't have the keywords in there, there's nothing for Google to index. They won't understand. The algorithm doesn't understand. And if the algorithm doesn't understand, how can we expect them to send customers to your website, right? So we do have to focus on a good content keyword strategy, and that's going to help you guys out tremendously, I promise. Okay, now if we look at your top competitor for water damage in Bozeman, we do have ServPro, and yes, they're a franchise, but don't let that scare you. They are very beatable. You're not actually competing against an entire franchise, only the local franchisees that only service a handful of zip codes. And they have this disservice of these generic pages that are given to all of the other franchisees. They're not allowed to modify this. So they can't actually do a strategy that would benefit them. So you have the upper hand, you just have to do better. That means having better quality content and more of it. More pages, more of those long form blog articles. Those long form blog articles add new fresh content every single month, which Google loves and allows you to index for even more keywords and drive more traffic. Okay, so content is key here. Now we all know when your customers do a search, they'll do a search something like this in Google, and when they do, we want it to be your website that's popping up. Okay, and there's 3 main spots on the first page of Google that your website can have good position in. And the first is generally going to be ads. Those could be cost per click ads and local service ads like these. And this can be exceptional, absolutely profitable for you guys if that's something you want to do. As long as you have your processes set up correctly and your foundation set up correctly. If not, you're probably not going to get the best ROI. Now, these other 2 sections, I like to say are more important. It's not necessarily that they're more important, but they do get the bulk of the traffic when people search. So this section here, this is your Google Business Profile or Google Map Pack here. You want your profile to be here in this top 3 because 30% of people search these top 3. They'll call these top 3 businesses, and they won't go anywhere else. So if you're not one of these top 3 businesses, you're leaving 30% of your monthly revenue on the table, and you're quite literally handing those jobs to your competitors. So in order to get in this top 3, there are factors, but one of the most important is something called citations. And so you simply need to go out and get a bunch of citations, which is listing the name of the business, the address, phone number, and website, and listing those in a bunch of directories. Directories are things like the Better Business Bureau, Yellow Pages, Yelp, Glassdoor, Houzz, and Angie's. All of those are great citations to have. So you need more of those than your competition. And then every single one of those citations sends information to Google about your business, your services you offer, and where. So all of those are very helpful for you. And then this third section here, this is the most important section. This is the organic section. It's most important because 60 to 70% of people, when they search, skip over ads, skip over the maps, and they come right here to these websites. So if your website is not showing here, then you're losing 60 to 70% of the jobs every single month. So in order for your website to be here, it all comes back to the foundation of this website being properly built and optimized with the right content and keyword strategy, and then going and supporting that with an SEO, backlink SEO strategy. Which brings us to backlinks, and this is Ahrefs, a paid tool we use to analyze how your website is performing. And if we see here, your website has a rating of a 0.3 out of 100 in Google's trust flow. That means Google doesn't trust your website, and that is partly because of the quality of the website, but more so the power you send to your website. Like every tool we use, everything requires power, and so does your website. And so we give your website power by getting these backlinks. So we need a lot of the backlinks. We need more than our competition. But it's important to understand that not all backlinks are good backlinks. They are not created equal. This is a popularity contest. And so we only want to be going after the good quality backlinks. And so you could try to go after big, powerful brands like Pizza Hut and Burger King, but you guys don't serve food. And because you don't serve food, even though they're powerful websites, they don't help you. They actually are more spam than anything. So we have to be going after the good quality, do follow links that are closely related to your business. So we want links from other websites of home service businesses, vendors, magazines, etc. Okay? So we need a lot of those. We need to be pushing these every single month. And as we get those, your website becomes more authoritative. Google starts trusting you more. The score increases, and it's going to push your website up in the rankings, and it's going to help you rank those keywords. Now, despite not having much content on your website, you have been indexed for 26 keywords. But like I said, you're only getting 5 people on average to your website per month. So you're missing out on hundreds of potential traffic and over 60% of the jobs in your area. Okay? If we look at your keywords, there's 10 spots per page on Google. So you do have a couple that are ranking at the very, very, very bottom of the page. The higher you actually rank in percentage, the more percentage of the volume per month that you can get, with the top positions getting over 40% of this volume. So even if you are at the bottom of the page, you want to keep working on those to get as high as possible to capture the most potential volume. Okay? But you're still missing out on being indexed for majority of the good high volume keywords. You definitely need to work on that strategy. And when we look at your competitor, their local area has a low score, and they're only getting 3 people to their site. But the power of that website is enough to boost them to the top, because pretty much nobody in this area is really doing the right strategy to increase their rankings, to get higher. So once you do the strategies that I've shown you, you absolutely have a potential to knock out all of these guys, okay? So please feel free to take these strategies, run with it, apply it today, and dominate your area. Drive those customers in and help more people. But if you'd rather do what you do best and have a partner in growth, give us a call at Peterson SEO, because this is our specialty and we specialize in working with restoration companies just like you guys. Please feel free to reach out with any questions that you might have. Respond to my email or give us a call. You can even text us at this number. And also provide, if you wouldn't mind, giving me some free feedback on this video, because I want to make sure that I continue to improve them for you guys. So thanks again for watching, and I do look forward to hearing from you soon.